Alright, I'm going to show you how to start adding the features to your pinch pot to make it look like an animal. So first thing, you should have already done your sketches, and this is what you're going to be using for reference to help you stay on track. So this is mine, obviously an owl. So first thing, you don't have to keep your pinch pot completely round in the way you made it. If you want to alter it or change it a little bit, you can. Just know that if you ever are squeezing or changing your clay, you want to do it slowly. So I'm making mine kind of pointy. I'm going to try and make it look more like a football on the top. So I'm just kind of gently making sure my fingers are damp, kind of slowly working my round pinch pot into more of a football shape, like that. So now I'm going to show you just a couple ways that you can make pieces. So the first way, if you have just like small pieces, like an eye or, I don't know, an ear, you can just take it and then shape it, with your hands. If it's something small and very simple. So this could be like an ear. And then you can also use your toothpicks to help you kind of add some detail. Like that. You can make coils, and coils are just, the long ropes. So those of you who are doing snakes or animals that have tails, or when you're making your legs, this is how I would do it. So you want to start with a handful of clay, and you want to squish it together until it looks kind of like a log. This, and then you're just going to roll it on the table with your hand, and you're going to roll it from the bottom of your palm to the tips of your fingers. So I'm going to start here, go up, and back down. So when you're rolling it, if it starts to flap around, that means it's not round. So to fix that, all you have to do is either tap it down more into a round shape or gently twist it to make it more round. So I'm twisting in opposite directions. And then so if you're making legs, you want to keep them fairly thick. So once you have the size that you want, you can use your toothpick to go ahead and cut the length that you want. Like that. And then if you want something smaller, you would just keep rolling that coil until you get it the size that you want. So that could be a tail, I don't know, whatever you would want. So that's coils. You can also make slabs. And for this project, it would just be very small slabs. And slabs are just thin, flat sheets of clay. So you want to start with a handful of clay. And you just want to first kind of just work it with your hands to try and flatten it out. And you're trying to make it even. And then do not pound it with your fist like this. Don't throw it down as hard as you can. Just gently smack it with the palm of your hand. Turn it over. Until you get it the thickness that you want. So, for example, I'm going to use slabs to make my eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and cut them out right now. If you want to use those circle templates that we have, you can. But I'm just going to draw them out first before I cut. And then just use your toothpick. Trying to keep it straight up and down. There's one. And there's two. And then once you do that, you'll want to smooth it out. Make sure those edges aren't rough. And that would be making it with a slab. Alright, one last thing before I start adding pieces to my owl. Some of you, your designs have like a really big head on your pinch pot. When you're making things with clay, you don't want to have a huge ball of solid clay and try and put it on your pinch pot. It's going to be really heavy, and it won't dry in the middle, and it will just break in the kiln when it's firing. So what you want to do instead is you want to make another small pinch pot. So instead of having this, which would just be, a head that's solid, you make the same shape with a pinch pot. So it would be hollow on the inside, and therefore it won't be as heavy. So I'll try and do that real quick for you to show you. And then once you make this pinch pot, then you can add, things to it to make it look like the head or the face of whatever animal you're doing. So if he has a nose, I'm going to make it a little bit pointier. So then this is what you would attach. So it's the same size, gets the same idea across, but now it's not going to be as heavy because it's hollow on the inside. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to show you is how to attach all of the pieces together, because you can't just smoosh it together like that and expect it to stay. It's just going to fall off. So what you have to do is called scoring and slipping. So slip is the liquid form of clay. We're just going to use water because it works the same way. But slip is just the glue. It's what holds the pieces together. But before you do that, you have to score it. And scoring just means scratching or roughening up the surface. So if I want to attach these two together, I'm going to first score this part. So you're going to score and slip both pieces whenever you're attaching pieces together. And it's better to do too much than not enough. So you have that, that's the scoring part. The slip part, all you have to do is dip your finger in the water, tap some water around there, get it into the cracks and grooves that you just made. And then to make it easy so you know where to score on your pot, you will just place where you want it and then take it off, and then you can see where you'll need to score. Like that. So score, slip, and now I'm ready to put these two pieces together because I've scored and slipped both pieces. So you will gently first put it on there, and then while it's on the table, because you want to support the inside of your pot so it doesn't deform, you're going to support on the inside, and then I'm going to push with this hand to really make sure that it's going to be stuck. So you're not trying to blend it yet, that's next. I'm just really trying to make sure that it's in the place that I want it, and it's on there. So then after that, then you want to blend the seam. So the seam is where you can see the two pieces come together, and you just want to use your finger to gently blend the clay together. And so right now it's going to look messy, won't look pretty yet, so you just need to blend it first, blend those two pieces together. And then now you can smooth it. So smoothing is where you make it look like the way you want it. You get all the bumps out, make it look pretty. So I'm just smoothing with my finger and a little bit of water. So your goal is to make sure that you don't see the seam anymore where it joined together. It should now look like one piece of clay. Okay, I'll show you again. So I'm going to score and slip my eyes on here like this. But first I'm going to go ahead and add the pupil to the eye, just so I don't have to try and do that while it's on my pot. I can do it while it's on the table. So I'm going to make two little circles. So I just use my fingers to make those little circles. And I'm going to slip and score the little circles onto the big circles, because it doesn't matter how big or small the pieces are that you're attaching together. If you're trying to put two separate pieces of clay together, you have to slip and score. Score. Slip. Just dab some water. I'm going to set it on there so I know where to score on the bigger circle. And then gently press down. and then smooth, or blend, sorry. So if it's a smaller piece, you can use your fingernail. You can actually use the toothpick to help you blend. So this is where you're blending the seam. And then you can go back and smooth it out. Okay, do this other one real quick. So score, slip, press down, blend, and then smooth. So if you do this, anytime you put pieces of clay together, they won't come apart. Alright, so now I'm going to slip and score the eyes onto my pot. So I'm going to figure out where I want them. I kind of want them to come up above the rim. See where I want it. Another trick to see where you need to slip and score is if you just set your pieces together and then just very lightly draw around like that. Oh, I'll do the back of the eyes too, so I know where to stop scoring. Now I know that I want to stay within these lines when I'm scoring. And score. And you want to score well, but you don't want to do it so much that it deforms your pieces. So I'm stopping there because I know that it's going to come above the rim. Okay, so I scored. I'm going to add slip. And I just dot or dab the water on there so I don't mess up the scoring that I did. And then press them down together. Just make sure that it's on there where you want it. And then blend. Again, for any little tight spaces, you just use your toothpick to help you. Don't forget all sides. And then now smooth. Alright, I'm going to finish up my owl. Remember, slip and score every piece together.